Painful backfire, we finally understand Meghan and Harry's antics make royal even more love. A royal expert has just confirmed that Meghan and Harry have indeed made the royal family even more popular thanks to their antics. It is the best thing to happen to the royals since Charles married Diana. Mr. Phil Dampier has explained in the Royal Daily magazine, the Sussexes have gone from popular royals to effing grifters. The fall has been one hell of a plane crash and is fascinating to see from a sociological standpoint. It's the narcissism, hypocrisy, drama, and inconsistencies that have led to the downfall of Harry and Meghan. Let's start at the beginning, and let's forget about who made who cry, because who knows and who cares? In a nutshell, according to Meghan and Harry, the British media is so racist, and they attacked Meghan because she's biracial, and then the royal family didn't stand up for them because they were so jealous of them. They didn't feel safe, and so they needed to leave the country so that they could feel safe somewhere. They had some hurt feelings, and all the interviews, the books, the articles, the docuseries, and the therapy sessions are supposedly done just to help everybody else understand. But actually, Harry and Meghan were miserable in the royal family. Well, why? But again, who cares? If you ask me, the press did do some pretty disrespectful stuff, like saying that Meghan was straight out of Compton, for example. But they also reported on stories they heard about her behavior, and she couldn't deal with that. The truth of the matter is, every member of the royal family has gotten some negative press at one time or another. Anyone who can remember the 90s can remember that Diana also had a pretty rough go of it sometimes. Meghan's narcissism, though, rendered her unable to just let things go. And we can add to that the fact she believed the royal family should come and stand up for her every 5 minutes, and they didn't. Well, Meghan and Harry just lost it. They claimed they were experiencing a mental health crisis. Well, it's really just that they got upset. But it was all because of the horrible press and the palace refusing to release statements about the horrible press, and so they threatened to leave the UK. But they still wanted to be half-in, half-out royals, because, okay, I guess to be fair, who wouldn't want that? And this is documented in Spare. Well, the Queen said absolutely not, and then the Queen got her first strike. They didn't get their way, so they decided to throw themselves on the floor like a couple of toddlers and pitch a little fit. And then they ran away to Canada with no real plan for the future and no consideration about security. Running away from the UK was paid for by Prince Charles and the royal family, and the royal family didn't bother to call their bluff about leaving. The Queen told them they were not allowed to use the term Sussex Royal for commercial purposes. Well, that was strike two for her. And then Canada decided that, of course, Canadian taxpayers didn't deserve to foot the bill for their security either because they were no longer working royals. Even though Charles was paying for everything else for the two of them, they were upset about their lack of money because they're so entitled, and they were upset that they lost their security, again because they are so entitled, and they blamed it all on the crown. Well, that was strike three for the late Queen. And then we got their, oh, we'll show them moment when they did the Oprah interview. Now, I'm sure that as a liberal American, Meghan believed the royal family was just so old-fashioned, and that she and Harry were going to become modern-day California royals. She believed that everybody in the U.S. were going to understand their plight and be on their side. Now, at first, some people did support them, and the mainstream media mostly supported them too. Most people, though, could see that there was something strange about this whole situation, something very fishy, something just didn't add up. It wasn't authentic. For example, when Meghan would tell the story about feeling suicidal, she didn't show any emotion, and they couldn't keep their story straight when the remarks about Archie's skin color were made. They encouraged Oprah to imply that Archie did not receive a title when he was born because of the color of his skin, and Harry discussed how his father cut him off financially, but we were in the middle of COVID, people were dying at the time, people were struggling just to put food on the table. We all know that Oprah interview is a complete disaster, but I don't even have all day to talk about it. Meghan and Harry just assumed that the palace was not going to say anything. But then, of course, we got that famous recollections may vary statement. And then William weighed in saying we are very much not a racist family. And then the Dear Daddy letter court case was happening, and we discovered that Meghan Markle is a big fat bully and tells so many lies to the courts. Well, that really upset them, and so then they decided to declare war. The Me You Can't See was Harry's time to shine and let everybody know how he was so neglected and he has this genetic pain or whatever he calls it. Well, Harry, welcome to the club that literally everybody is in, but most of us just have to deal with this pain without millions of dollars in privilege right there in front of us. And then Meghan started calling up senators using her Duchess of Sussex title to advocate for paid family leave. Oh yeah, Meghan, what a great thing for you to ride the coattails of something that is widely supported just to get publicity for yourself. Thank you so much. And Meghan showed up in Uvalde to use a horrible tragedy for publicity for herself. She essentially used the graves of murdered schoolchildren as a place for a photo op for herself. How disgusting can she be? And then we got the podcast series, we got the cut interview, the variety interview, the docu-series, and of course Spare. Now, interestingly enough, that docu-series was so ridiculous, so over the top, I would have thought they were running away from North Korea. Now, the book tried to portray Meghan in a positive light, but Harry's too stupid to understand that calling a woman who just had a baby brain is very insulting, and it's perfectly normal for grown women to not want to share lip gloss with random people. It's not like everybody's in grade school. And there's a lot more, but who really has the time to dig into that whole mess again? You would think that all that would be more than enough, and the backlash would be more than enough for them to just crawl back into the hole they came from, take some time to reflect, and shut their mouths. But oh no, they didn't stop there. They're so desperate for attention and publicity that they start picking up these awards that they have to pay for. Now, Kerry Kennedy said they were getting the award for fighting racism within the royal family. They didn't argue with that, and they were so happy picking up that anti-racism award. Later on, Harry said the royal family in fact is not racist. But wait a minute, Harry, I thought you got an award for saying they were racist. And the bizarre need to compare Meghan to Diana, what is that about? Meghan is nowhere close to Diana. And the straw that broke the camel's back had to have been that near-catastrophic car chase through the streets of Manhattan. Meghan was grinning in the back seat, and this story just proves how insane the two of them really are. So finally, people are getting sick and tired of them. Thank you, Bill Simmons, for being an executive and publicly saying what we were all thinking, that Meghan and Harry are a couple of grifters. And it's all been downhill for them since then. The two of them are just such hypocrites. I mean, if they were so traumatized by the British media and treated so poorly by the royal family, why would they even want to be half-in, half-out royals? I mean, I think they were plotting their escape the whole time, and they had something in the works, like the Oprah interview and talks with Netflix and Spotify. I think they were hedging their bets. They were just watching to see who was going to offer them a better deal, and they were not getting what they wanted from the royal family, so that's why they decided to leave. I think the royal family will forgive the two of them, but they'll never be able to forget what they're dealing with. I absolutely believe the two of them are looking for a way back in because they're running out of money, and they cannot sustain their extravagant lifestyle on their own. They can never be trusted, though, especially Meghan, because deep down she is a nasty snake, and she has shown who she really is behind that fake persona. Neither one of them can be trusted. I think that Harry is probably even worse, because it's his family that he went after so horribly, and especially his late grandmother and grandfather, the beloved Queen and Prince Philip, in the final years of their life. That is unforgivable. Both of them had to pass away believing that the world believed the royal family was racist, and in my opinion, that is unforgivable, just like Meghan's very disrespectful curtsy on that stupid docu-series.